Hello everyone. Welcome to my interim presentation for our campaign Betterco. Today we'll be talking about some of the issues that we've experienced so far, and there's been quite a few. so, in many different ways. But in general, how do we feel like it's going so far? Well, we're in our third week now. We've seen some results. And overall it's going okay. Obviously we'd like to see it work a bit better. So we'll just be discussing a few of those things today. So the initial aim was to create a social environment in which people would feel okay and comfortable in when looking at statistics and facts about the current state of our local environment. Some of these statistics aren't positive, and I guess that is part of the shock value as well. So we wanted to create a space where people would be okay, and I think we've achieved that fairly well, while maintaining shock value. In terms of experiments, we're still not really seeing a significant amount of engagement, and I think there's something that we really do need to improve on. Asking questions to our users doesn't really seem to be working either. So we've been asking, what's your favorite coffee? Trying to go a little bit off topic to sort of really create a relationship with our followers. So we found that's not really working too well. So, we may need to include more creative content. I think we have been creative to a certain extent, but just in terms of trying to get audience interaction happening, we need to go back to the drawing board a bit, be a bit more creative in that sense. Overall, unfortunately, we have approached the campaign somewhat incorrectly. Following the initial brief, some areas they were overlooked, and we will have to reassess the commercial side of the campaign. That's something that we will now eliminate. That means eliminating e-commerce, for example, selling a cup that provides profit for the campaign and the cause. And also there was some anxiety over whether people who weren't aware that this was a students campaign would actually take it seriously. So that was kind of a worry for me. People would then go to the Shopify page and try to purchase something that wasn't actually tactile yet, I guess. So it's going to have its positives. I don't think it should be too much of an issue. So we're going to see how that works. It'll be a lot easier as well. Just in terms of creating content, we can just focus on the main point at hand, and that's creating awareness on environmental issues, which is actually, so it ends up being quite positive. If only I knew that from the start and paid attention to that. But anyway, everything's a work in progress. So let's talk about the website. So the website really was an interesting aspect to the campaign. Well, that's what we've found so far. To be perfectly honest with you, I think we've been too caught up in posting content to the social media platforms. So yeah, the website, in all honesty, has been somewhat neglected. To a minimum standard, we've met the requirement, but in terms of content, of course. But we really do need to focus on making it more consistent across all the platforms. I think the website especially hasn't really had so much attention. So it is a little bit different to Instagram and Facebook and Twitter in terms of volume and in terms of the brand's look and feel. I would say in design, that's something that we haven't been consistent on. So definitely improving content on the website is a must-do moving forward. On a positive note, when it comes to the website, I like the content that's been posted so far. I think that it's really in-depth. Not so much original content, it's more posting like articles and knowledge pieces about our issue and other related organizations. So that's been something that has come out of the website on a positive note. Running user testing though. So I think that's something that we need to look at doing, possibly in terms of with our A/B testing and the whole user experience. I think that would be beneficial for us massively. The website, in terms of design and user the user experience, isn't terrible, but it is another area that would definitely need working on. Now on to the analytics. Like I said, we've had quite a few issues over the past few weeks, and implementing Google Analytics has been an issue. So initially we thought we were doing the right thing in terms of setting up an account through Google Analytics with our existing Google account, and setting up a tracking number. And not really having too much knowledge of Google Analytics has been an issue. So we've set the website up incorrectly. And again, as I'd previously mentioned, it's something that was sort of overlooked. So we've gone to set the website up properly. We're currently in stages of fixing that issue. So hopefully moving forward, we can gain some proper analytics. Looking at SEO though, it has been good. So we've been doing the right thing, using the right keywords, words that are relevant. So that's something that's come out of this on a positive note. Unfortunately, we don't have some really solid analytics to look at, which is super important for any campaign and really any online platform, looking at the back end of things, because we really want to know what's working, what's not working. We can see it from like the top layer from where we are, but from an in-depth perspective, we don't really have that. So that's something that we most definitely need to fix sooner rather than later. For all of our content, we're using a program called Buffer. So that's what we're using to manage social media content at the moment. It's something that we've used in the past and have found to work really well. And yeah, I mean, it's been a really good tool for us. Can easily upload our content, what we want to say, and schedule it for the right time of the day. However, that being said, we've also somewhat neglected that there's specific times throughout the day where we could gain more of an audience or gain more attention on social media platforms. So in my initial brief, I did mention that there was times throughout the day. So looking at it on a statistics level, and how many users are on each platform at what time of the day was something that we really did talk about in our initial brief. So I think, especially with Instagram, better implementing the right time of the day, and posting consistently every single day rather than in chunks, is also something that will benefit us over the next 2 weeks. So far, we've made some very valid and honest points about what we can improve. Google Analytics, definitely a big thing. The website, in terms of design and consistent branding, another huge thing. Talking about the user experience, improving A/B testing and really implementing that, huge deal. So looking at everything else, in terms of our social media aesthetic, initially we did talk about we had themes set up as examples. I've found it's so easy to neglect that, like subconsciously, it's so easy. So going back and looking at what our initial inspiration was is going to come in handy, and making sure that we are consistent with our branding on social media also. In terms of generating more traffic, I think including better implementing metadata and maybe even more hashtags, because we've gone down the road of using minimal amount of hashtags that are just more relevant. It's working, but I just feel like we really do need to add a few more in there. Not using the maximum 30 hashtags, and definitely just looking at what else might really draw more users to our page. I believe that improving on the metadata and the hashtags is going to improve our SEO performance as well. Using the correct terminology and language is just so beneficial for us.